Hey everybody, welcome back. These dates got ruined in 28 seconds or less.
His boyfriend showed up at the restaurant.
What?
At what store is the Audacity on sale?
So I have been single for about like 5 years now.
Can relate.
For a multitude of reasons. But one of the biggest is that I just really have a hard time with dating apps. I just find it very superficial. It's hard for me to get attached to someone when I really just don't know their personality. So every once in a while I get like this urge to go and use something like Hinge or Tinder. And so I matched with this guy, and he seemed really nice. He was cute. We had similar interests, and for the sake of his identity, I am not going to give any more information than that, because as horrible as this was, I still don't want to ruin his life. One of my Hinge prompts
That
is,
bad, eh?
we're the same type of weird if, and I responded about like licking both sides of the hint of lime Tostitos to try to figure out which is the limier side, because that's the side that I'm gonna bite into. So he responded to that. And we just ended up talking about food, and it ended up getting into the topic of buffalo sauce. And one thing led to another, and ultimately he ended up asking me if I was addicted to buffalo sauce, and I was going to play it off and be normal, and not be a weirdo, but I'm like, you know what, if we were to start dating and actually end up together at one point, he's gonna see this anyway, so I might as well just let him have it. Told him that when I get Chick-fil-A, I like the spicy chicken sandwich, and when I get that, I get the zesty buffalo sauce, and if I don't finish the sauce, I will drink it like I am taking a shot. Whatever's left in there.
Oh, okay.
And you might think that's weird now, but just wait, because it's gonna, what he's gonna say next is more weird. So he's like, well, that's weird, but your honesty is super attractive. So we were kind of like flirting a little bit, and I was like, I bet you can't top that. He topped it.
How?
He topped it. I'll give you a few seconds to think about what you would like it to be, because whatever you're thinking, it's not it. He responds back, and I got this text. It must have come through at like 6 or 7 in the morning. So when I first saw it, I thought it was fake, because I was convinced that I saw it and I was like half asleep and I dreamed it. But no, I went back and I confirmed what I saw. He really said this to me. He topped me by saying that he still picks his nose and eats it.
Come again?
He's in his early 30s.
Come again?
That shouldn't be okay no matter what. But early 30s. I had no response to that. There was nothing I could say. You know, in Interstellar, when Cooper asks Tars what his honesty setting is, Tars responds back that it's at 90%, because it's not always good to be 100% honest.
I would agree with that, yes.
When in doubt, let's be like Tars, because honesty is not always the best policy, and some stuff should just go with you to the grave. In case anyone's wondering, yeah, I'm going to be taking another 5-year hiatus from dating.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
It's almost as if they don't realize that the people that they're talking to are actual people. Listen, it's always good to match each other's weird, all right? Case in point, me and Mike, we're both weird, but we are the same level of weird. I was once talking to a guy on a dating app. I may have mentioned that something made me get on the topic of the fact that I needed to poo. That was already a little too far, Charlotte, I have to say. But instead of keeping it cutesy or whatever, this dude proceeds to take a photo of his poo and send it to me. Like, I'm all for bathroom humor. I talk about my bathroom humor to millions of people on the internet every day. I don't really care. What I don't do is I don't take a photo of my morning poo and show it to you guys, because that's a little too personal. Like, that is like crossing a boundary where once you cross it, you're not going back. You're not. I pray that you guys never get that comfortable with your partner. Even me and Mike, we like the farting, we like the bathroom humor, but please, for the love of God, Mike, if you're watching this, never, ever send me a photo of your poo. Ever. We're done. Take it back. Here you go. Here, there you go. You can have it. You can have it back. Take it. I don't want it. It's like almost worse than sending like a spicy pic, you know? For some reason, the poo, Sorry, did I just go off on a tangent that I really didn't need to go off on? You're fine. I thought it was gonna be something with ranch. You would think.
Oh, I do shots of buffalo sauce if I don't finish the buffalo sauce.
Fair, cool. Very cutesy, very demure. We're not wasteful in this house. However, you counter that with another kind of sauce. You don't, not like bats in the cave, not like an extra, you counter that weird, you match the energy. You don't tell them something absolutely disgusting about yourself, okay? Jesus. POV, we broke up during our 5-year anniversary meal. Oh, girl, what? Wait a second. Is that a filter or are those your actual tears? Oh, dear Lord. Why is he filming you? Why is this being filmed? This is a very private conversation. And you're in public too? Oh, God. You know, I will say, it's always funny how, like, the very special occasions, it's almost like there's so much, like, expectation surrounding them that's when it's gonna go wrong. Like, you think you're gonna have a great little birthday, great little anniversary, great little Valentine's Day. Nope. On this day, you will have a massive fight with your boyfriend. Why do people break up on special occasions? I'm telling you, it's because there's lots of expectation surrounding it. You start thinking about all the things. Maybe they fall short in certain respects. They forget it. They forget your anniversary. There's something about it, though. If you've had a big fight with your significant other on a special occasion, drop a turkey in the chat.
So I'll keep it simple. I matched with this guy on Raya, really good looking guy. We exchange numbers, we start texting, okay? For all intents and purposes, we're gonna call him Chad. That's probably what his name should have been anyway. So Chad. We're texting. Last week, as you guys know, I did my plant medicine. He asked me on, I think it was Friday, maybe, like the day after my plant medicine, someday. He was like very eager to meet in person and to get to know me. And so he said, like, why don't you come meet me and my guy friends? We're at this sports bar watching the game. It's packed. It's really fun. And I was like, I would rather scoop out my own eyeballs with rusty spoons and then hang them on a Christmas tree like ornaments than go sit in a packed sports bar with you and your friends.
On a first meet too? Nah.
And he was like, okay, cool, totally get it. Once the game is over, I'll pick a quiet spot for us and we'll go somewhere and we'll just like sit and talk. And I was like, okay, cool, sounds better. So game ends, he texts me. I'm like exhausted. I was like, look, it's just not gonna happen tonight.
That'll be
I'm
like
tired,
11 o'clock.
I want to sleep, I'm in sweats, whatever. He was like, okay, cool, no worries.
Can I just say,
oh, I'll text you after,
is like typical booty call. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if we're going on a date,
huh?
If I were single, we're not gonna be going on no date at 10 or 11 p.m. It's gonna need to be at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock on the dot. That gives us 3 hours. It gives us 3 hours and then I go home. Any later than that, you're pushing it. I ain't losing no sleep over a man. You see this? This gets 10 hours a night, okay? You all wanna know how I have nice skin? Facials, but sleep. Ain't no way I am compromising that for a dude that can't even see me at 7 o'clock. No, carry on.
Yesterday he texted me. Yesterday I went to Universal. Yesterday he texted me. He's like, hey, do you want to go to Scopa with me at 7 p.m.? Which is, Scopa is like this really lovely Italian restaurant in like, it's like Venice, Santa Monica area, whatever. And I was like, I'm at Universal, but if I'm home in time, yes, I'll text you as we're leaving. So as we're leaving Universal, I text him and I was like, hey, I'm really tired. I don't have it in me to go to dinner, but I have these 2 friends staying with me. If you want to pop by and say hi, just to like meet each other once we're home, you can do that. Like, that would be fine. And he was like, okay, great. Like, that's what I'll do. Now, as you guys may or may not know, I'm very bold in that, like, I just don't give a I just fire off the questions like it's an interrogation. And if they think I'm crazy, then they think I'm crazy. That's not my problem. So I asked him, I was like, why are you single? Like, someone who looks like you, who's got like a good steady career, has his own house, like seemingly is funny. Why are you single? And he tells me about how him and his girlfriend broke up last March because she wouldn't move to LA with him. And he's just like been really intentional about who he's dated since. And I was like, okay. Then he asked me why I'm single, which is obviously like the elephant in the room always. And I tell him about Wells and that, you know, I was engaged and my fiance passed away and all that. And he goes, okay, I need a little bit of time to process. I'll text you in a bit. And I was like, okay, fair, whatever. You take your time to process. He texts me like an hour later and he's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And he's like, so I processed it a bit and I just think that what you've been through is a little too much for me. So I don't think we should see each other. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like that, you are allowed to have those boundaries, those feelings, those thoughts, those whatever. That's up to you. Like totally cool. I respect that. I get it. We part amicably. I'm like, I totally get it. Cool. It's been nice talking to you. And then he says, and I quote, and there's no reason to say this. Like we had already been like, okay, cool, bye. He said, you're just too much of damaged goods for me to be with.
Damaged goods. Wow.
You're too much of damaged goods for me to be with. Okay. So at that point, I'm wondering at what store, because I shop all the time, at what store is the Audacity on sale? Because I don't know how this kid bought it and afforded it. But apparently these men think that that's okay to say. So I said, okay, see ya. And he hearted the see ya, and that was it. And I'm just wondering, like, are they all like this?
No.
Are they all going to be like this? Because I'm not prepared for this. And I feel like men have gotten really, really bold and we need to like kick them back down into their place kind of. No? You know, do you know what I mean? Like you're too damaged of goods. How much did that Audacity cost you? And also like meet me and then say it to my face and say it with your chest. You know, don't say it over text. Don't be scared.
I think it's literally just an indication, babe, that he's just dating to... You know what I mean? Like, he's just, like, even just the fact that he wanted to meet you...
Oh, after I'm with my friends.
Blah, blah, blah. That was his initial try with you. And then he realized, like...
Oh, crap, this girl's actually a person. Maybe can't screw around with your head. Not gonna work for me.
They're not all like that, by the way. But it is strange how, like, dating apps have removed pretty much all empathy. Pretty much all of it. Damaged goods. Remove this from your vocabulary, okay? I'm gonna damage your goods. Give me his number, I'll damage his goods. I went on a date with a guy in Atlanta and his boyfriend showed up at the restaurant. That was not on my bingo card.
Let me tell you how I went on a date in Atlanta, and the guy who I went on a date with, his boyfriend showed up at the restaurant while we were on our date. So the previous day, I'm at the mall, I see the guy, we like exchange looks, so like I know he knows that I think he's attractive. I know he think I'm attractive because we're looking at each other. We've passed each other multiple times in the mall and we're looking. So probably like the third time we passed each other, he's like, excuse me, I think you're very beautiful. I would like to take you on a date. I'm like, okay, cool. We can exchange information, get to know each other, and then we could put something in motion. So cool. We talking the whole day. Everything's going good. He seems down to earth. He seems cool. We have a lot in common. Woo-woo. Right. So he's like, okay, let's do something for tomorrow afternoon. I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. He's like, do you want me to pick you up? I'm like, well, you know, this is our first time meeting. I don't really feel comfortable with you picking me up from my home, even though, you know, I think you're a pretty cool guy. He's like, okay, cool, no problem. I'll send you a black truck. Boom. So that's the backstory of how we met. fast forward to the day of the date, right? So we go to the restaurant. It's a very nice establishment. The vibes are nice. He comes with flowers. The conversation is good. The energy is good. And then he picks up his phone and the energy just like shifts out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, I gotta go to the restroom. So I'm like, okay, go ahead, go to the restroom. So while he's in the restroom, I order me a few more drinks. I'm noticing like, okay, he's in there for a little too long. Okay, so he comes out. When he sits back at the table, he's like fidgety as hell. Like he's moving, looking around, looking over the back of his shoulder, looking past me. I'm like, okay, are we safe? Is everything okay?
Are we
good?
safe?
So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm good. Let's get a few more drinks so I can loosen up. I'm like, loosen up? I mean, we've been drinking. You was loose. So anyway, so then I noticed this group of men walk in, right? He peeps it too. Girl, when I tell you he adjusted his body as to not be seen. So I'm like, okay, maybe these are the ops. Maybe he's in danger, like something's going on. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna eat my food, mind my business, or whatever, cool. We're at a table where like the bar is across from us. So I can hear conversations at the bar, I can see people, right? So the group of guys sit there. One of the guys is like, yeah, my man out with some. Oh, so I'm one ear to him, because like I want the tea. What? So he's like, yeah, he don't even know I got his location. So I'm looking back at the person I'm on a date with. He's like this, making sure. I'm like, what's going on? So he's like,
Did they know?
Again. I'm like, okay. I mean,
did the boyfriend know you were there?
Are you finna leave? Do I need to pay? What's going on? So when he goes to the restroom again, the man gets up and goes to the restroom as well.
Oh, yeah,
but as the man walks past me, he's like, oh, sis, you're beautiful. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know, because when okay. So I'm like, thanks. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, they both going to the bathroom. But I'm not even putting that together because at this point I'm tipsy. Right. So something must have transpired in that restroom. Because next I hear the person at the bar pick up the phone and he like, I'm on the way. And the group run to the bathroom. Security run to the bathroom. So I'm sitting here like, what's going on? Mr. My date and Mr. You look good, sis. Come out the bathroom tussling. You in here with this? You had me at home thinking that you at home thinking. So he's like, you had me at home thinking, and you know I got your location, and how sneaky could you be? And you not even gonna let her know that you got a man. You got a what? You got a what? So mind you, I didn't drive here. So I'm having to like get on my phone, give me a new ride because I didn't drive. He done left me with the tab. Cool. I want to get up the hell on up out of here. So I pay the tab. I'm like, I'm not sitting in this restaurant waiting. I walk out. Oh, when I tell you they on the street going at it, the person I went on the date with, baby, you know, what is going on?
No, I don't want any part of this mess. The audacity of him to involve you in this. Oh, I would stay far away from that Tasmanian devil of chaotic energy. No way. No judgment, but it's clear things are not resolved and not your problem. I love that the boyfriend in the middle of being cheated on still had the time to uplift you and he didn't lie. That's a good point. That was like a nice little nugget for the story. It was just like, oh, I automatically like him. Unless it was like a passive-aggressive compliment. I don't know. I'm reading into it too much, maybe. Let's just take it at face value. It's just so funny because he did absolutely everything right until he didn't. Like, am I wrong when I'm saying, you know, he like offered to go pick her up, he like brought her flowers, he sent a car for her, took her to a nice restaurant, like everything is going great up until it's not. Is it really jaded to say that like, I am so suspicious that when they do everything right, it's almost like they're compensating for something? It's kind of like a guy that's like cheating and then he goes out and he gets his wife like really beautiful necklaces and purses just to be like,
Ooh, look at what a good husband I am. Look how great I am.
and then there's this other side to it. So you don't get a whiff of it, right? You're like,
Oh man, he's so great. He buys me all this nice stuff. He did everything right.
Meanwhile, basically what I'm gathering from this story and the comments is that Atlanta is not a very good place to date anyone.
I went on a date that makes me never want to walk outside ever again this weekend, and I wrote down all the reasons why it was horrible. So some preface, I started talking to this guy about 2 months ago. It's going great, really seems sweet, had my hopes up, but none of these signs were showing beforehand, before we get started.
They never
This is just
are.
some honorable mentions. I met him at his apartment, red flag, I don't know how to drive, but anyways, I meet him at his apartment. He has a 3-wick candle. He is only lighting 1 wick. There's 1 wick he's lighting. The other ones aren't even touched. The other wick's like all the way down. And I was like,
God.
Light your candle before we leave. Like, just a little reminder. He goes, I don't blow it out. I want my room to smell good all the time.
You don't blow out the candles when
Second
you
part,
leave?
I planned the date. I want to go to a hockey game.
Are you a
I said,
masochist?
let's go to a hockey game. He says, cool. Next thing you know, I realized I literally did all of it. Also, he texts me, why don't you buy the tickets? I'll pay for them. Like, just send me your Venmo and I'll Venmo you. I didn't love it, but I was like, cool, whatever. I do it. I pay for the tickets, $120. And he texts me afterwards. He's like, you know what? I'll get us dinner that night. I don't even worry about me paying you back. You get why that's wrong, right? Like, I'm the one that bought them. You can be like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm worried. So then we go ahead. I had a day a couple days ago, and he sent me $50 and was like, get yourself something nice. The tickets were $120, so he paid me for less than half the tickets. But it was as a gift. It wasn't like, oh, here's the money I owe you. So there was a mix-up with the time. So basically, we get there 2 hours early on accident, and we like walk over to Target to just go do something. He chucks his vape into the bush. He's like, I didn't do it. That wasn't me. You didn't see anything. What? I don't freaking litter. That's your vape. An animal could eat that. Also, he kept calling me mother beep all night. I kept saying, don't call me that. Please don't call me that. That's not cool. He never referred to me by my name. Nothing. And then I was like...
Because he didn't know it.
He was like, don't I look so good tonight? He said that. And I was like, don't you think I look pretty tonight? I spent an hour getting ready. My friends all came over. We picked out my outfit. My outfit was so clean. Like, I just pulled it out of the dryer, right? He goes, oh, your pants have a little mark on them. They were brand new. They did not have a little mark on them. He kept saying he's never done anything bad in his whole life. And I told him straight up, like, 30 minutes into the date, I went, this date's going pretty bad. So we go to Target, and I'm like, why don't we get waters so we're not parched during the game because the water's gonna be expensive? And he goes, no, it's fine. So I was like, fine, I'm gonna get my own water. I'm gonna chug it. All cool. He hands me a Red Bull, and he goes, buy this. Okay, so now we're in the game. We're sitting down, and he's ordering chicken tenders, and he's like, do you want anything? And I didn't know we were ordering food. I was like, no, because I don't want to drink. And he goes, I was like, can I have a bite of your chicken tender? He goes, no, mother... No, are you crazy?
I don't like, I'm sorry, what? Is this man an absolute masochist? You lost me at the triple wick candle and only lighting one. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And by the way, he kept calling you that because he didn't know your actual name. Telling you right now. 1 wick.
Diabolical!
See? Ladies, we don't have to be going on these dates. That was your red flag. That's all you needed to know. And then if that wasn't enough, he leaves his candles burning while he's not at home? Absolutely not. He ruined that date in 10 seconds or less. You just failed to clock it. Subscribe!